Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So recently I made a video about Parkside tools at Lidl supermarket that you want to look out for, tools that I recommend that I've used myself, and that video was quite popular, so I decided to make a second video because there's a lot of tools that I left out from the first video because I thought it'd be too long. So in this video I'm going to go through quite a few more really useful bargain tools that you can pick up from Lidl supermarket. So here are my router bits, Parkside router bits. They come in a case. I've actually got these screwed to the wall at the moment. Just seems more convenient that way. But a nice array of bits there, and they work well. Really can't fault them. So I've had this Parkside torch for maybe getting on 3 years now, and it still works well. I really like it. I initially did a little review video on it. If you're interested in seeing that review video, I'll leave a link to that video in the description. But a really nicely made light. It was very cheap as well. It's got a main beam here, and then it's got a spot beam, and it's got like a built-in little stand, and that works really well too. Build quality is good. It has a hook at the back for hanging it up if you want, and it's got a piece of metal here so you can use it magnetically, stick it to things, and it's fully rechargeable as well. So lights like this one from Lidl tend to be pretty good. Here is something that I picked up recently. It's a 3-in-1 saw. So it's a hacksaw, 12-inch or around 30cm length hacksaw, so a standard hacksaw with a full metal body, rubber grip, really comfortable to use, well made, and it can be converted into a saw for the garden and your standard saw which you'd use to cut things like laminate flooring, boards of wood, that sort of thing. This one's good out in the garden if you're pruning trees, so a good saw for your toolbox. I did a review on this saw. If you want to see it in more detail, I'll leave a link to that video in the description box. But a really good deal, great little ingenious tool. So another really useful handy tool from Lidl are these Parkside impact bits. Really nice case, and I've been using these impact bits for probably getting on for 3 years now. There's a few missing. They're ones that have either worn out or they're currently in my impact driver. But these are so much better than a standard drill bit. They last so much longer, especially in an impact driver. They're made for that. Really good quality. When these do run out, I'll buy another set. But I was really pleased with these. So another really essential useful tool for DIY and woodworking are these Parkside pencils. They come in a box. I think they come with a sharpener as well, but I've never used that. I always use a knife to sharpen the end. But decent pencils, they don't roll away. If you're doing DIY, these are very good. So next up we've got these really unusual sharpening tools in strange shapes, so you can sharpen practically anything, really awkward things like a fishing hook. There's a groove in this one and a flat side, and this one tapers down into a point. So if you want to sharpen something that's a really awkward shape, these little sharpening pens are super useful. So here's another one that I highly recommend, spray paint. If you use spray paint, this stuff is really good. 400ml, the nozzle is pretty good to the end. Haven't had a problem with the nozzles, and there's more paint in there than you'd expect. It seems to go on forever when compared with the really cheap sort of $1.99 cans of spray that you can get. These go a lot further and they're a lot better as well. They seem to stick to metal really well. This black I've bought a few cans of this now. It sticks to metal really well. When you test it with your fingernail, it doesn't come off. And I've also got a gloss too. So another tool that I recently picked up, a pack of 2 saws. They feel really well made, rubber grips on them, decent quality saws. Again, really cheap in my opinion compared to what's out there. Not too bad at all. They've got rulers on the top. You can hang them at the end. Really decent saws, ideal for general woodworking. Here are some sockets. This is like a standard ratcheting socket wrench, and then there's an adjustable one in case you're not sure of the size you're trying to work with. So it adjusts to the size of the bolt. Again, inexpensive and really useful tools. So these magnetic tool holders that you can get from Parkside are really useful. I've got loads of these up at the moment, hanging tools. I'll show you that in a moment. But very inexpensive, very useful. I've bought multiple packets of these over the years. So if you need somewhere to hang up your tools in your workshop, these are really handy. So this is an infrared thermometer, a really useful tool to figure out where the weak points are in your home, where heat might be escaping. So insulation such as the roof, the loft hatch, you can check where the areas are at their weakest. You can set a reference point with this and you can run it along an area and it will tell you if the temperature is going up or down, and it will alert you. So for example, if you want to check the edges of your windows or the edges around a door or a loft hatch, you can see where those weaker areas are, and therefore it will help you to figure out where the heat's escaping from your home. That's just one example, but I've been playing around with this for a while now and it's really useful. So I might do a separate video all about this at some point. So here are a pack of SDS Drill Bits. Again, really cheap, nice set, 5, 6, 8, 10 and a 12mm. Nice and long too. Really useful, cheap drill bit set. So another really useful thing to have in the workshop, small parts organisers. I bought quite a few of these last year and I made a rack for them. I've got a video on how I made the rack. If you're interested to see that video, I'll leave a link to that video in the description box. But yeah, these are really useful. They interlock at the sides as well. They come in packs of 2 or 3. And as you can see, they've got dividers that you can move around as well. Really useful for storing small parts in. So here's another really interesting tool. This is a lifting and tensioning tool to help you to maneuver large objects while you're doing something else. You might need a spare hand, there's nobody around. You want to fit a door in place. This will help you to quite easily lift something into position. And this can also be switched around and turned into a sort of clamp as well. I've just bought this, so I might do a review video all about this. So stay tuned for that one. So this is a pruning saw that I bought around 2 years ago. I've been using it ever since. Really nicely made, sharp pruning saw. I've cut many saplings down with this. I did a job for a friend. He had a lot of trees growing around his garden, small trees. And this made light work of them. It's got a sheath to protect you from cutting yourself. Even with that, I did still cut myself at one point. But again, surprising, I didn't expect it to be that good, but it's a really nice tool. So here we have some pruners for the garden. These are like an anvil heavy duty style, and these ones are for more like pruning rose bushes, lighter work, that sort of thing. I still prefer using my antique pruners. You can't beat those, but these are great. I've been using these for probably 2 years now, and I expected them to break and they haven't. So if you're in need of some pruners, these are nice and cheap, and they seem to last quite a while too. Okay, so that is about it then for this video. So there you have it, loads more really cheap, useful bargain tools from Lidl supermarket. Look out for your Parkside tools when you're out and about. As you know, when they're gone until they sort of come back 6 months later and you can buy them again. So happy hunting for your tools. If you found this video useful, please remember to like and also consider subscribing for more DIY related videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.